Alright guys, so today we're gonna do a tier list of the most, my opinion guys, of the most, and you can help me too, of the most comedic characters in Resident Evil. Because, you know, I do Resident Evil skits a lot, like comedy, parody of Resident Evil. We're gonna rank them, and my rank system is like hilarious, that funny by accident. Funny by accident, it's like, they're funny, but not because they say what they say or everything. It's like more, they're funny because the situations, you know, happens to them, or like the people, how they interact with people. We got not funny and we got boring. And actually, I think it's gonna give me more ideas for my Resident Evil skits. So I think it's gonna be good. And also, we're gonna link back to skits that I did, because mostly what I find funny, it's that I can make skits out of it, you know? Let's start. All right, first character, guys, Jill Valentine. And you can comment your ideas and your perspective, right? Jill Valentine, guys, she's not funny to me. I can't find anything that's actually funny from Jill Valentine, except Resident Evil at the start of Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 1 and the other Resident Evil that Jill Valentine is in, she's just badass. I'm not saying she's a shit character, by the way. It's one of my favorite character in, it's my top 3. So my top 3, it's Leon, then Ada, then Jill Valentine, probably. As I would say, she's a peak character, like her actions and everything that she does is fucking insane, but she's not funny. The only thing that starts being funny with Jill, it's not because of her, it's because of Wesker, you know? The only thing that she's funny of, it's when she gets like transformed into a robot, you know, she's controlled by Wesker, and then she becomes like serious. And then the only comedic aspect I could find of her, and that's why it's the only skit I did so far with Jill, it's when she become blonde because of Wesker. She always like brunette, and now she becomes blonde. It makes no fucking sense, but I think Resident Evil 5 bring the comedy aspect of Resident Evil to another level. It's like another level of like Resident Evil 5 makes so much not sense at all that like it becomes funnier, you know what I mean? But for Jill Valentine, she's still not funny. Redfield is the same thing as Jill, I would say. But there's more comedic moment of Chris, you know? And actually, there's multiple things, but I think the top funniest thing about Chris is that, well, first there's the boulder skit that I did, like, that like he can punch a fucking boulder. I think it's the most fucking funny thing about Chris Redfield, you know? Like, why is... Who's strong enough to punch a boulder? It's impossible. It's fucking dumb. But that make it good for me, because since I do comedy about it, I'm happy that they did that, because it makes me able to do comedy about it. What about what else about that's funny about Chris? He's on steroids in Resident Evil 5, and it's so funny. Look at his arm. Look at this shit, bro. It's impossible to have like, look at this. Like my arm is like and I work out, but like his arms are bigger than his head. It's like crazy. So this is another aspect. It makes no fucking sense to have those muscles. That's why after that I did like that skit with where Chris needs Sheva, and then he's like, it ends up that he's on, the joke is like he's on fucking steroids, because everyone on Instagram or social media says that Chris is on steroids because he has too much muscles and make no sense. That's why also I bought a muscle shirt just to play Chris, because even though I work out, I think I never can be huge as Chris, you know? I can be huge, I can be Jack as Leon S. Kennedy, but Chris is another story. And another thing about Chris that's like, I think funny, it's how he looks chopped in Resident Evil 7. Look at this. Like... Like, I don't know what they did in every Resident Evil, Chris looks like handsome, but for some fucking reason in Resident Evil 7, like the game is insane, but Chris looks so fucking chopped. I think that's another funny thing about him, but I didn't know how to bring that into a skit, because I was like, my cosplay of him already looked chopped. So just because of the boulder and his interaction with Wesker, I think he's in the funny by accident. Sheva, the only comedic thing about her is that she has to deal with Chris being a douchebag and Wesker, but like, I would not say she's boring because she's kind of badass in Resident Evil 5, so I would say she's just not funny, like Jill, but she's badass though. Barry in Resident Evil 1 to me, and I think I could do skits about him at one point. He's not boring. To me, look, I'm gonna class it to funny by accident because again, it's his interaction with Wesker and other shit. Look at this.
I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
That's what I mean, is that because Resident Evil 1, the dialogue was so fucking ass, Barry becomes funny to me by accident. There's a part in Resident Evil 1 where he's like sus. Everything he does is like sus. So you think, if you don't know the lore of Resident Evil and you play the first Resident Evil and you don't know that Wesker is the bad guy, you think it's him the bad guy because he's so fucking bad at communicating that like he becomes sus. So for me, that's funny by accident. Rebecca Chambers, guys. Rebecca Chambers, she's not funny. She's not funny by accident. It's not funny. So peak character, but not funny. The GOAT, guys. We should have kept him for the end, but here it is. The GOAT himself, Wesker. I think Wesker is the most, like, he has the most potential in all the Resident Evil to be the most funny character because of everything. I did so many skits with Wesker in, and I still have got a lot of ideas with Wesker to do skits because he's just so fucking hilarious. He's like the peak villain of Resident Evil. Like everything he says makes no sense and it's like half cringe at the same time, and like he sounds like a fucking pervert. His the voice actors like did a good job to like make him sound like a fucking lunatic pervert villain. Like that makes no sense. Like he legit have photos of Rebecca Chambers as a rookie in a cute basketball outfit and he goons to her. Everything he does, it's fucking funny, you know. He wears shades in the dark, like to hide his cat eyes or whatever he has because he got the virus in him. The fights with Chris at the end of Resident Evil 5, everything he does is fucking funny. So yeah, he's the peak hilarious character in Resident Evil, and nobody would change my mind about this. It's like, it's the funniest character. Leon is gonna be a bit complicated because I feel there's moment that he almost get hilarious, like his dad jokes that makes no sense at the worst moment, and that's why Leon is I think it's my top second. Well, first because I think I do a semi-decent cosplay of him, so I'm able to like portray him better and kind of do a bit his voice like in my skits and my videos. So it's kind of easy to cosplay and like to impersonate, and I think everyone loves Leon, so he's really relatable. So it's easy to do comedy with him, you know. And his dad jokes, and he's like always a bit awkward. So like he's like funny. He will fit for real. I could copy this guy on those three categories. The thing is, he's not hilarious though. You know, his jokes are not that funny. This is just like fucking dad jokes that like I'm not like, you know, I don't cramp like Wesker, and sometimes he's funny because the way he interacts with, basically it's more the way he interacts with women that is fucking funny, you know. He's like that guy that like he play like the good boy, but at the same time he comes out with fucking comments on women and like fucking shit that are so fucking like not fitting for his character, that are like, it makes him super funny. So I would put him in funny, because sometimes he's funny by accident and sometimes he's almost hilarious. I think the way that is very funny with Leon, I think Leon, like in a comedic aspect, because I'm a comedy nerd, but I think Leon, he's like the straight man in a you know when you have a comedic duo, you have the straight man and the punch man. So like there's the guy that like is more straight and like he brings the premises, and then there's like another character that brings the jokes, you know. So I think Leon is like necessary for a lot of comedic aspect in Resident Evil. Anyway, moving on to Claire Redfield. Claire Redfield, she's a peak character just because of Resident Evil's called Veronica, and also Resident Evil 2. She's not funny by accident. She's not funny. She's not area. She's just not funny, but she's not boring. She's a cool character. I would put her after Jill like this. They have like a small banter with her and Leon, small like funny talks, but it's not funny that much. It's just but she's an awesome character. The thing I start to see, well, we're gonna continue, so it's probably gonna change, but I feel like Resident Evil creators, and good thing that they changed that, like they made Leon like you know, they asked women and everything to make Leon sexy in the last Resident Evil 9, but I start to see a pattern that like the writers of the old Resident Evil, they were like, a man is like, it's like funny and everything, and like makes fucking weird cringe joke, and that's what is funny, and then the women are just badass. I think they did a really good job with, when we're gonna talk about it later, with Grace, that she's like cute but funny at the same time, like with her little quirks and everything. So yeah, we're gonna talk about it after. Okay, Ada Wong, she's not hilarious. She's not funny by accident. She's not funny by accident. Like nothing that she does make her funny by accident, you know? The way she interact with Wesker, she's badass, you know? She's fucking badass. It's not funny between them. It's really a transactional fucking it's very transactional, like very fucking, you know, we work and like, but the way that she treats Leon, I think she's funnier than Leon, and I'm gonna explain why. It's because the way she treats Leon, like he's like a good boy, and like she's fucking I don't know, she's like his bitch, basically, her bitch. He's like her bitch. To me, that's a very funny aspect, and that's why I pushed it to another level in my skits. Like when I cosplay Ada and Leon at the same time, and to me, the funniest aspect about Ada is that she's the boss of Leon, you know? She's like the virtual boss of Leon, because we don't have any source yet, official source that they're married for real. We have maybe hints and everything, but I feel they're very, they very have that relationship, you know, that like Leon, like with defend her with his life, is like Leon is like her knight, you know, and at the same time her bitch, you know. In Resident Evil 4, she's using him to get what she wants, but at the same time she helps him. So I think she loves him a lot, but it's still her bitch, you know. So that's the comedic aspect between them two that makes me laugh a lot. So just for that, I think she's funny, Ada, for that reason. Marvin in Resident Evil 2, I think this guy is funny by accident. Why? Because there's something funny about him, like being stuck in that he's bitten and everything, and he's gonna turn into a zombie, and like there's like a funny way that like Leon arrived in the police station, he tries to help him and everything, and he's just like, get the fuck out, like save your life and everything. But like he's cool, he's badass, but like the way that like you just come back at one point in the middle of the RPD and he's just there in zombie, and he looks like kind of fucking dumb, not gonna lie, like he's just in the middle of the RPD and like as a zombie, and that makes me laugh a lot. For I don't know, maybe it's me who makes me laugh for no reason, but I think it was hilarious to just like he's just as a zombie there, and like Leon at the same time. Leon is almost sorry officer, but like there's always a part of Leon that like he seems to care, but he seems to not care at the same time, and that's what is hilarious with Leon. It's like sometimes he's just act like almost like he has zero fucking emotion sometimes, you know, and that makes me laugh. But he has emotion, but like he didn't, like he hides them well, you know. He bottled them up. This is Sherry. Sherry, she's not gonna lie, she's boring. She's not epic and everything. She's just boring. There's nothing. She was a kid in Resident Evil 2. She got saved. She's not funny, but also she's boring. Like there's nothing special about her, like for real. Her mother, of Sherry Birkins. Annette Birkin. Yeah, Annette Birkin. I think for me, she's funny by accident. Because she's a fucking terrible mother. She's it actually makes me laugh, you know? Like, it's like, there's a fucking apocalypse and everything, and like, the only thing she thinks about is like her husband becoming a monster, and like she's in the fucking lab, and it's half her fault, you know? And then she's just there trying to like defuse the fucking situation, and it's just, you know, her daughter is like something on the side, you know? Like she cares about her daughter, but at the same time, it's like she cares more about her work, and I think it makes her funny by accident. This dude is not funny. I mean, he's not boring because he's kind of scary when the first time you play Resident Evil 2. So yeah, I'm putting it there. Mr. X. Mr. X, I need to put it. Oh, Mr. X is funnier than Leon and Ada, but not hilarious, I feel. It's funny, but like just because, not because anything, just because how he looks. You know, he looks like a fucking huge predator that's gonna like fuck Leon. Like he's just running after him, and it's like he just like or Claire, and he's just like, it's just the way he looks and makes no sense. Just a huge guy with a leather trench coat and a small hat. To me, he's funny as fuck. I wish I could create a cosplay of him. That would be funny as fuck. Like, but I don't know. I would have to paint my face gray and like buy a fucking mechanical suit to look giant, or like maybe use cameras to look giant. But yeah, at one point I need to do a skit with this guy. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I need to do something. Carlos is not funny, but he's not boring. I have nothing much to say about him. He was cool in Resident Evil 3. He helped Jill. Yeah, he's cool, he's badass, that's all. Nemesis is scary as fuck. I think he's the most scary like bad guy in Resident Evil for real. Like, especially when back in the 90s when Resident Evil 3 came out on the PlayStation and stuff, he was scary. I remember when I was young, like it was stressful when he was there, you know what I mean? In the remake, not as much, you know? I didn't felt as scared, but of course I was older, but I feel he was like, you had a hard time with him in Resident Evil 3, like the real one, the first one, the OG. So he's not funny by accident. He's not funny. He's scary. I would say maybe his face is a bit funny. I would have to add a category, a bit funny. Maybe we can do that. Because just of his face. A bit funny. I think Nemesis is a bit funny. The way he moves and the way he's always stars. I remember when I was young, I find that funny that like there's a huge deformed fucking creature running around stars people and like just wanting to kill them. There's something comedic a bit about him. In his face too, looking like a smoked meat. All right, this guy, Steve, called Veronica. This guy's funny. He's funnier than all of them because he's like a little brat. He's like an asshole, and also he has some scene in Resident Evil called Veronica. I think it's like the same thing as Resident Evil 1 with Brad. Dialogue is so ass, and like a scene when his dad dies and everything. I think it makes him like and the way he acts in the game is just fucking funny. Like he burned legit. You give him a gun at one point and he burns the magazine. Like there's no more fucking bullets anymore in it. Like he's just a fucking he's just a fucking bitch. And to me, it makes him funny. This guy, oh yeah, this guy called Veronica too. I don't think he's funnier than all of them though. But his voice, again, this is the voice acting. He has an eye voice and he sounds ridiculous. And to me, that's fucking hilarious. This guy in Resident Evil 3 is a fucking asshole. I remember him. I would say he's a bit funny, just because he's like the asshole fucking with Jill. You know, he's like. So much anger and hate inside of him for no reason that it makes him a bit funny for that, you know. Billy Cohen, I would put him in funny accident. Billy Cohen in Resident Evil 0. I hope they're gonna do a Resident Evil 0 remake soon because and write him better than this, because he's just in this. He just has He has a fucking tribal tattoo and he looks like a douchebag and he's like out of prison. He just acts like a fucking douchebag with Rebecca, and in a way it makes him funny because of that, because the dialogue, he just like he looked like a perv and a douchebag at the same time, and there's something funny about it. But at the same time, at the end when the story evolves, it becomes like a good guy and everything. But like, yeah, he's kind of funny, and also his voice acting, he talks like a bit like, I don't know, like a bitch, and it makes me fun. It makes me laugh. Ashley, I'm gonna put her in funny by accident, but at the end. Why? Because it's again because of her relationship with Leon. Leon's makes her funny, you know what I mean? Because she's like the annoying brat that Leon's needs to take care, she becomes funny, and that's why I put her in a lot of my skits with Leon, because it's like she's a dead weight for Leon, you know? Like, it just makes her funny that Leon needs to like fucking drag her in Resident Evil 4. I hope we're gonna see her more at one point, you know? See what she's doing. In Resident Evil 4, there's a lot of moments that makes her funny by accident because of Leon, I feel. Louis, to me, he's not funny by accident. Well, a bit with what he says. Funny by accident with Louis, a bit, but I think he's just a bit funny. He makes some jokes about Ashley that are borderline weird as fuck, especially in the OG Resident Evil 4. He's a bit funny with Leon, he's a bit funny with Ada, but not more than this, you know? So I would put it in there. Some people told me I should do some skits about him. I legit don't know what I could do about him that much, because he's just a fucking creep. He's a good guy / weirdo. I'm maybe gonna do something about him at one point, but so far I didn't find any idea. If you have any fucking ideas, write it in the comments or the chat. Hoonigan, I think I would put her in a bit funny too, just because of her relationship with Leon again, you know? Leon makes her funny again because of her interaction with Leon. Sadler is just not funny. To me, that's why I think I forgot his name all the time, because he's just a fucking huge creature I fight as Leon at the end. This dude is like Mr. X 2.0, but not funny. I think I would say he's a bit funny, but again, not because of him, because of Leon again, you know? The way Leon kills him and like takes his fucking eye, and the way he choke Leon, it makes him a bit funny. Salazar is the same thing that this dude. I think I could do a skit about him at one point. I think that would be pretty funny, actually. They make him so fucking funny and memeable, like a fucking small character looking like Napoleon, and then the way that you can throw eggs too as a achievement in his mouth, and throw a grenade too. He's just fucking funny, like, to me. Like, he's a funny character. Not really what he says, but the more how he looks, how he acts. Browser, I would put him in a bit funny. It's the way that he acts with Leon, you know? He acts like he's like, because he was his superior in like top special ops, whatever. He trained Leon. There's something funny about him that like makes no sense. Like, he acts like he's this huge douchebag for no reason, like a merc, and the way he tests Leon makes no sense, you know? Like, he fights him and like he hides in the shadows and like, oh, surprise attack and everything. Like, it's just, to me, it's super fucking funny. It's really like a classic Japanese game kind of like douchebag, like portrayal of a American mercenary. So yeah, to me, he's a bit funny for that. I think we need to do some skit about him at one point with him and Leon, you know? There's some kind of fucking weird vibe between them, like that. Are they bro? They're fighting, they hate each other, like there's something weird about them. All right, I think I put her in a bit funny, because the way she acts and everything, a bit the same thing as Krauser, but in Resident Evil 5. The way that like again, it's Wesker that makes her funny a bit, because she's just like a random bitch used by Wesker again to do his thing, and like she just acts like a bitch with Chris and Sheva and everything, and like it's like I don't know, there's something about her that makes me laugh, and like she get used by Wesker like everybody else. Yeah, it's just a bit funny. Actually, I would put her funny by accident, or because it's really more because of Wesker. This guy, oh yeah, this guy is actually the same thing. He's funny by accident, but more funny than her and more funny than Ashley. I would say. I would say he's more funny than all of them. Again, this guy, he just looked like a fucking creep. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but in Resident Evil 5, he turns like in a huge fucking sea monster, and he just looked like a clit. I call him the clit monster because he turns into a huge monster, and his face is just like, it looks like a clit. I don't know if they make this, they did this on purpose, the producer of Resident Evil 5, but he just looked like a fucking giant clit. Okay, moving on. Her in Resident Evil 6, I don't remember her name. She's badass, but she's not funny. Yeah, moving on. Fuck her. This guy, same thing. He's not funny. He's actually a cool character, and he get fucked in Resident Evil 6 too, but he's not funny. Why they put Ada twice? Ada in Resident Evil 6 because she's different. She's not. Ada in Resident Evil. I think everything in Resident Evil 6 is not funny. It's a good action game, but it's not funny. That's why I didn't do any skits of Resident Evil 6. This guy too. To me, he's not funny. Maybe if you find anything funny, guys, about those characters, tell me in the comments or the chat right now. So maybe he's gonna give me ideas for skits Wednesday. Ethan, I think is funny. He's funny by accident, but I would put him at the bottom. Ethan in Resident Evil 7 and Village is just, what is funny about him? It's everything that happens to him. You know, he's just a fucking normal guy that tried to find his wife that works for Umbrella in the past and got fucked by all this gooey shit. So Ethan is funny by accident just because he is in the situation is, and other characters that we're gonna talk about soon in Resident Evil 7 and Village that makes him, he's a bit like Leon on that, but he's less funny than Leon, you know. He doesn't do like funny jokes, dad jokes like Leon. Mia, to me, normally I would put her in not funny. She annoys me for real as a character. It's probably we could do another tier list at one point. It's probably the character that I hate the most in all Resident Evil. I don't know, the way she acts, the way that like, I don't know, I don't like it. I never liked her. I know she got fucked by all this like bio, but it's just like she could have been straight up with Ethan before that, and he would have not like get fucked like this. Let's just say that like this. So, but she's a bit funny when she turns, you know, in Resident Evil 7 when she's like all fucked up. To me, that's fun. There's a lot of comedic moment that I could actually. That's some skits I could do about Mia. And like being fucking crazy in Resident Evil 7. She looks on crack, so I'm gonna put her there. I think she's funnier than all of them actually, just because of that. Just because the way she looks in Resident Evil 7. This dude, guys, this dude is going in hilarious. The dad in Resident Evil 7, I think he's the second best bad guy in all the Resident Evil, like boss. He's hilarious, and not in the hilarious way of Wesker. Wesker is just a fucking weirdo classic villain, but this guy, the daddy, it's his dialogue. The dialogue in Resident Evil 7 is peak. Like the way he talks, and like he talks to Ethan, and like he's like his daddy and everything, and it's like, come here son, and like he's gonna fucking, like he's gonna clap his cheeks or whatever. To me, it's fucking hilarious. He's top tier for real. He's second best, like to me. Okay, the mom in Resident Evil 7, I think she's funny. She's funnier than them, those two, for me, because the way she looks disgusted. She has a fucking spider nest in her vagina. Like the way you kill her is like hilarious. She's like walks like a spider. She throw you fucking bugs, and the way she talks. At some key moments in Resident Evil 7, it makes me laugh so hard. This guy is a bit funny with the thing he does with Ethan and the way he talks to Ethan, I think, in Resident Evil 7. So I would not put him in not funny. There's something he says that are kind of funny in Resident Evil 7, but one more than this. Evelyn. The part Resident Evil 7 for me, guys, that's why it's not in my top Resident Evil 7, is peak, but the part when we start to be in the boat and we play as Mia and everything, it's so fucking boring to me, and that's why I'm putting Evelyn in boring. She's scary at one point and everything, but I hate this fucking part. The part in the boat is so fucking ass that it makes me hate her. I don't like it. It's like, even though she's like the biggest boss of the game and everything, every time I replayed Resident Evil 7, I stopped playing. I remember I did some playthrough that when I reached that part, maybe to do an achievement or something, I just stopped playing. Zoe, she becomes funny by accident, but only if you choose, and she's funnier than Ethan to me, only if you choose to not save her. Or saving her too, it's funny, because you choose a random woman and not your wife Mia, and that to me is fucking funny. Or when you not choose her, she's like getting so upset and everything, but like you're choosing your wife, you know, and like she's just fucking doomed to die, unless about when you see the DLC she doesn't. But yeah, to me that's fucking funny. And also her accent is kind of cute and funny at the same time. Lady Dimitrescu, she's funny. A bit like all of those bad guys here that are funny. She's just like 8 feet tall woman. She's more than pegging you. She's destroying your ass. Like, if she pegs you, it's not gonna be a 6-inch dildo, guys. It's gonna be like a 12-inch with 5 girth of inch, like until you fucking like die. The last boss of Resident Evil Village, she just kidnaps your daughter. She's not funny. She's not funny. There's nothing I could say about her. It's funny because a lot of last boss, except Wesker in Resident Evil, they're not funny to me. You know what I mean? Sadler, like they're not really funny. They're just Resident Evil made a good job that like all the boss before, they're so epic and funny that it makes you replay the game a lot. You know, some games they just make the last boss the epic shit in the game, you know? And that's why I think it's so cool about Resident Evil, is that they make every character memorable almost, you know? Especially in the last like remakes and everything in last games. Heisenberg is funny. I find him funny. Like the way he treats Ethan like a little shit, and like he's just fucking powerful, and the way he talks to me is funny. Okay, those girls, wait, I'm gonna put them in a bit funny. I'm gonna explain why. It's again the relationship with Ethan. It's like they're a bit funny because it's just they treat Ethan like meat, you know? A bit like Lady Dimitrescu, but Lady Dimitrescu, she's funnier because the way she looks and everything. But those 3 girls, like, they just make Ethan looks like a fucking meat stick that they're gonna eat. Puppet girl in Resident Evil Village, I would put her in a bit funny, just because of the puppet, the way you find the puppet and everything in the house and everything. It's kind of a bit funny. It's not like hilarious, but like the way like you fucking hunt the puppet and everything as Ethan again, it kind of makes it funny. Okay, the big guy, this guy is funny by accident, just because the way they made him look. Like, I don't know who pitched this idea. Like, they were like, oh, we're gonna put an orbit, like the merchant in Resident Evil Village is gonna be a morbid, huge guy, like with too much grease, that like gonna be just sitting there. I don't know, there's something funny about him. Rose, she's not boring. She's a really cool character. I really like the DLC that we're playing right now. Actually, we're finishing the hardcore to finish the trophy. She's badass, but not funny. Again, we see a pattern here with Resident Evil writers. They make a lot of those guys, protagonists funny as hell, and antagonists too. Mostly Wesker and the dad. But they have hard time to write comedy with their main protagonist girls, you know? They have hard time to do that, I feel. They have hard time to make Jill, Claire, Sheva, and everything as funny as Leon, I feel. They did a good job with Ada, though. The relationship, but again, it's because of Leon. So I think Leon needs to go there, actually, to me. Because all those some of characters that are linked with Leon becomes funny because of him. This is gonna be maybe a hot take for some people, but I think Grace is she's funny. She's not funny by accident. Well, she's almost funny by accident, but it's still her that's funny. And I'm gonna explain why. She's funnier than I would say. I will put her there. To me, she's funnier than a lot of people because the way she acts, you know, she acts. It's her quirks and everything, her stuttering and everything. It's cute, but at the same time funny to me. You know what I mean? She makes a very scary situation that she was in Resident Evil 9 funny at some point because she's just like, fuck. And that's why I did like 2 skits about that she's just stuttering and everything, like she's running and she's like, oh fuck, what the fuck, like, you know, she acts basically like a real human, not like the others that are like not scared, like Leon, zero emotion. She's just fucking stuttering and everything and falling because she's real, you know, and she has quirks and she has anxiety and she's like, what the fuck's going on here? And like, and for that it makes her funny. It makes her more relatable. This guy is funny. He's in the same category as those, but I think he's funnier than those two. Yeah, because he's fucking creep. That one scene with Leon that he touches hair, that guy, I need to do a skit about him at one point. It's just hard to fucking cosplay because he has a gray face and all fucked, but I think we could manage to do some kind of cheap cosplay that I always do. And well, yeah, I need to do a skit with this guy and Leon because he's just hilarious. The scene that like he just talks to himself at one point, he's just like, haha, and then he fucking go, Emily, she's a cool character, she's cute and everything, and she's like, the way her relationship with Grace is cute and everything, but she's not funny. Maybe a bit the way that she transformed into a fucking monster and like, Leon shoots at her, that could turn her funny by accident, actually, because of Leon. Yeah, I have to put her there because of Leon shooting her. And then at the end he's like, I didn't hit the vittles, by the way, but like he just don't care. It's the way that Leon doesn't care. That's why I'm saying she's funny by accident, because Leon, she's badass in Resident Evil 9, mommy of Grace, but she's not funny. There's nothing funny about her. She just get fucking murdered. I don't like Zeno. I'll probably make a skit about him at one point, but I don't like Zeno. He's legit a cheap copy of Wesker. That's why Resident Evil 9 to me is not a better game than Resident Evil 4. Because the writing of Zeno is ass. For real, he's not a cool character. He's not to me, he's boring. It's a Gen Z copy of Wesker, basically. Like, he's not, there's nothing cool about him. This guy, he's badass, but not funny. Onk, he's a bit funny because of his interaction with Leon. He thinks he can beat Leon and everything. And also in Cold Veronica, Resident Evil Veronica coming out. So I can't wait to see this. That's gonna be fucking epic. And that's it, guys. There's a tier list. That's the old tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments for the people watching me on YouTube and for the people. And also, guys, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do some more content like this on my Twitch. So the people on YouTube, make sure you come on my Twitch to see all of this shit happen live and maybe chat with me live and try to convince me otherwise of my opinions.